Namaskar friends, welcome to our lifelineorations program. In this channel, a series of lectures is proposed to be delivered on lifeline matters. Today's oration is meant for introducing to you this channel as well as giving you a glimpse of the topics that will be covered in the orations to come. About me, I am Ramesh Chandra Das, a native of the Puri district of Odisha, India, now settled in Bhubaneswar, the capital city of Odisha. Now coming to naming the channel as Lifeline Orations, there are two reasons. First is, whoever today uses internet will be able to see this channel. And today, as you all know, a boy or a girl of 10 to 12 and ages up to 100, all are able to see the net. In my opinion, except lifeline matters, no other topic will be of interest to this vast audience. Secondly, friends, whenever we turn our eyes around us, we will certainly see what our eyes will show to us. But our inward eyes will show us one common thing, pervading phenomenon of life around us. Life in multifarious forms. Every living creature has its own way of life. We are in great joy to find that we are a part of this grand scenario. Friends, you will admit that man is such a curious creature. Whatever interests it or absorbs its attention or attracts it, man will be curious to know why this creature is here, who is this creature or who is this person, why it or he or she has come here, where has he or she come from, like this. These questions and the pervading phenomena of life give rise to four situations in man. Four effects they have caused in man. The first effect is, this has made man religious. How? Man extending his vision to what he calls the world, the universe, creation, as well as life, thinks that without there being a creator, there could never have come such a grand scenario, such a vast scenario. And he attributes this situation to God, God as the creator. Thus has man become religious. Secondly, the same situation, the same pervading scenery of life around us and our curiosity to know has made man philosophical. When religion began by asking, who has created all this? Philosophy began by asking, what is this? What is the creation? What is the universe? What is life? Why is this life? Why is this creation? Like so many questions. Philosophy thinks that man alone is entitled to ask these questions and find the answers. Why? Because God has endowed man with mind, by help of which man can reflect upon, contemplate, form judgment. So many mental exercises. by virtue of which man is able to get certain conclusions about what he sees around, even what he does not see around, what extends beyond his ken. Philosophy gave us to understand that by virtue of this mental quality, man is different from all other species on earth. Both philosophy and religion expected a man to follow certain rules and regulations in their life. Their reason is, it is because man is a part of nature, and nature follows certain rules and regulations. Man must consciously follow certain rules and regulations. What they call morality. Thirdly, friends, the same pervading situation and man's curiosity has made man scientific. The man of science tries to understand why things are caused and assumes that there are certain laws and regulations, principles which govern the scenario around us. A young boy was sitting below an apple tree that day, and an apple fell down. He began asking, why is the apple fell down instead of going up? And he pursued that question to end at the theory of gravitation. And the man is Sir Isaac Newton, the great scientist, father of the theory of gravitation. And lastly, friends, the same situation of life and grand scenario of creation has made man artistic. Man has tried to express his inner self, his inner feelings, positive as well as negative, by comparing the same with the outward scenery around him. Just for example, I am saying, every one of us sees clouds floating across the sky. But a frustrated lover sings, oh clouds, floating clouds, you carry away the pain I feel inside me, to realms unknown wherever you float. If a person directly composes this line, it will be the collateral way of expression, parallel way of expression. Instead of saying, I feel pain, he says in this way. And the real creative person is he, poet, who feels for another. This one for another is called vicarious. The poet can feel the pangs of frustrated love, even if his life is very good. He leads a very good family life. There are, friends, many things about art, many things, but I limit myself to these 2 points because I am explaining to you man's inner reaction with reference to the scenery outside of him. Still then, let me tell you in short. For man, life is an art. Art is also life. Art has a life. Art has also a spirit, strong spirit of its own. God has made man a piece of art. And these I will surely narrate before you, explain before you. Friends, despite all these achievements of man, in the realm of religion, in the realm of philosophy, in the realm of science, in the realm of art. Human heart sinks at the thought of death. When man thinks that all the glamour and glees of life, attraction of life, will perish one day, all these things becomes meaningless for him. The same person who feels a great joy at seeing the grand scenario of life around him comes to feel that this world is a headquarters of death. Man immediately presents himself vis-a-vis death. This is the situation around man. Now scientists and philosophers, they all agree that every living creature has life instinct and death instinct in him or it. But man alone is conscious of life and is conscious of death. This very consciousness of life and death makes man love his life as well as fears his death. Taking all these accounts of life and death, I have divided my topics of orations into two parts. One is particularistic, two is holistic. Particularistic means topics that could not be handled separately. Holistic means topics that can be held in totality. Particularistic topics will be discussed in two heads, major heads. First is death confronts life, or man's love of life versus contempt of death. Second is life confronts life. That means there are situations in life which makes life miserable. The same person, these same situations caused by him, with a view to one purpose, but his purpose is frustrated. Thus, let me remind again, death confronts life, or life versus death. Second is life confronts life. That means situations in life which raises man above the opposites of life and death. About death confronts man, there will be a general discussion and a few instances of the first person meeting with unexpected death and his reactions. The second point is mooted by the fact that man has come from the primitive condition to be modern, not simply by thinking of life and death. These situations, what I told you, have raised him. He has raised his qualities, his attributes that are landed in modernity. There are 7 such situations, sub-major heads. First is expectations are belied. What man expects is frustrated. There are 3 sub-major heads. First is ordinary expectations, but with such intensity and sanguineness from a boy of 15, 16 to 60, 70. When proved wrong, man feels dejected of life. Life loses its charm. Whether that man dies or not, commits suicide or not, it is a different question. But life loses its charm for him. His judgments are corrupted. Second is, everyone sticks to certain profession or business or way of life and harbors some hopes, some ambitions in life, like his fellow men. But when he sees that hopes and ambitions of his fellow men are successful, but his hopes and ambitions are frustrated, he loses interest in life. Third point is frustrated love. People who are in love relations, when find that the love relations are gone, are frustrated, they lose life, they lose interest in life. The reason is, in such expectations, ambitions, or love, man dreams something, man dreams a certain way of life, a certain state of existence. And when that is gone, man thinks he should not live. Second point is, death being rampant loses its respect from the mind of man. How death is rampant? For example, by widespread violence, riot. Men are blind in killing one another. Secondly, war, bombardment. Thirdly, pandemic, we have recently seen. The third point is, man is not only an individual, he is bound to be a part of some collective entity, like family, clan, and lastly, the state. Towards each of these institutions, he has some obligation for the protection of the institution, especially, and for the honor of the institutions. When the protection is endangered, when the honor is endangered, man does not hesitate to lay down his life. Fourth point is, man has evolved certain value systems. And he lives for those value systems. And when those value systems are belied in his eyes and are denied to him, he feels that he should rather die than suffer dishonor of such values. The fifth point is, man is prepared to die for his God, for his religion. The sixth point is, when a man lives in situations of death or is exposed to such death-like pains of a considerable period of time, his life is changed, it is ennobled. And seventhly, it is because there is death in life, man seeks after immortality. Religions give us immortality, idea of immortality. Man also performs some actions in life, in the society in which he lives, for his fellow men, that after his death, people linger his memories about them. These are the particularistic topics. And lastly, the holistic topics come creation of life, man, what man is, and his life. Then automatic induction of morality into human life. Friends, I assure you, for every point I make here, I will give you examples. examples borrowed from many types of books, great books, circular literature, and the like. Actually, friends, I have a lot of things to tell you, but nothing to urge you on. You are free to think what you think. I will not say do this or do that. For all these things, I am prepared. But, friends, by subscribing to the channel and to the video, you entitle yourself to get all the subsequent videos as well as inspire me, encourage me to give the best of myself to you. Thank you for hearing with patience today. Jai Hind.